Thank you very much. It's great to be back on The Tonight Show. Yes. What can I tell you? I am single. Yeah. I had a girlfriend, and then she was like, I want to get married and have babies. And I was like, you've changed. This is not the woman I met. Used to be happy with Fish Stick Friday, and now I do well with the ladies at first because I'm fun. But what happens is they have a lot of fun with me, and then they get really frustrated and they snap. And they're always like, God, why can't you be serious? You're so immature. And I'm like, you're immature. You know? Because, of course I'm immature. There's no reason to grow up when you're me, right? I'm at work right now. Does that blow anyone else's mind? This is me being professional. Yeah, I'm working 5 minutes tonight, drunk. I'm only dressed like this because The Tonight Show made me. I spend my whole day like an 8-year-old with cash. I love video games and pro wrestling. Once a week I throw up because I ate too much candy. I'm an idiot, you know? I don't even want a girlfriend, to be honest. I just want like a hot babysitter. Just a beautiful woman that's like, when you're done playing Donkey Kong, let's have sex. And I'm like, okay. We just find a save barrel. Like the other day, I was on an airplane, and there was an empty seat next to me, and I hoped that a beautiful woman would sit in the seat, and we would hit it off, and that would be like our story. But instead, the flight attendant brought a 5-year-old little boy. And she plopped him in the seat, and she buckled him in, and then she leaned over, she goes, all right, well, when the plane lands, a lady dressed like me is gonna take you to your parents, but till then, just sit tight. And then she left. She left me with a child. I don't know anything about childs, right? Like, kids, you know what I mean? So I was scared, and I looked over at him, and he was like really scared. He was like visually rattled. He was like gripping the sides of the seat, and he's looking straight down. And I wanted to let him know that there wasn't nothing to be afraid of, so I tried to start a conversation with him. And I was like, hey, buddy, you're flying all by yourself, huh? And he's like, and I was like, you're like a real adult. And he's like, hmm. Now, I thought he was gonna say stuff back to me. So I'm uncomfortable, I don't know what to do, so what I decided to do was tell a joke. Because that's how I make people like me in real life, is with jokes. So I tried a joke, but I didn't know little kids don't get all the jokes. But I tried, and I was like, so what do you do for a living? Are you a doctor? And he looked up at me, and he's like, no? And I was like, well, that was a joke, stupid. So now my feelings are hurt, right? So I was like, forget him. I don't need this guy. I don't care. You know, he's the one being a baby about the plane. I put my headphones on, screw him. You know, I don't need him. And then after like a few seconds, I felt a tiny little tug on my shirt. And I looked down, and he's trying to strike up a conversation with me. So I take my headphones off. I was like, yeah? And he goes, did you like the movie A Bug's Life? I was like, I loved A Bug's Life. And we had the best conversation I've ever had in my life. It was insane. We talked about how many times we saw it, who we saw it with, who our favorite characters are. We're doing impressions back and forth. We're having a great time, right? And the whole reason I share this story is because at about minute 15 of the conversation, I started to panic. Like, is this where I'm at maturity-wise? I've had millions of conversations with adults, never once enjoyed it as my first conversation with a baby, right? So I'm actually rooting for the conversation to end, just to prove to myself I'm a man. So after about 25, 30 minutes, the conversation ramps down, and I'm like, all right, good. I'm a man, he's a kid, we're good. I put my headphones back on, no sweat. But he wasn't done talking, evidently. Because immediately I feel another little tug. And I was like, yeah? And he goes, Jeff, do you like quesadillas? And I was like, I love quesadillas. We were right back in it. It was insane. I had no idea little kids were so awesome. I was like, kid got off the plane. I felt like I lost a friend. I was like, should we exchange information? He's like, I don't have information. I was like, what? How cool is that? No ID, no smartphone. He's just rogue. You guys have been great. Thank you so much.
That's great, buddy. Jeff Dye! Jeff Dye! For more on Jeff, visit jeffdye.com.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on and on and on.